Asante sana pia Dr. Clerk. Karibuni sana. We've had a very good engagement and we're coming to the tail end, so I can take just 2 minutes to say what we are going to do because it will be derived exactly from what we have done. And we will do small achievable steps. So our activities will not be so many. We'll have 4 meetings for the executive, and then we will finish the matter of registration. Asante, because we have been part of this journey for long and for the other time, so we know we are coming to fruition. We will finish. We started last year. We started doing the format for the county manual. We are at 40%, so we will continue working on that manual. So that will be part of our activity now. And of course, we will start the journey of the curriculum, putting together the committee and the public participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lesian. She's the organizing secretary for HAC, and she has kept time. That's very important. And also recognize our resource persons. Karibuni sana for this closing ceremony. Now I'll call upon our rapporteur. You have 5 minutes to do so. Karibu. She's taking us through the resolution and way forward.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I believe you all agree with me that we've had 4 days of a very informative and educative conference. So quickly, I will go through the emerging issues that I was able to pick up from the various presentations that we had. The first one is artificial intelligence, that is AI. And the action or the resolution that we got from the conference is to embrace the transformative import of artificial intelligence and information communication technology in enhancing the process of Hansard production. So the persons responsible for that are the Hansard officers, the clerks of respective legislatures, and the timeline to achieve this, it is a continuous process. The second one is accountability and transparency in legislatures. In which we resolved to create training programs and curriculum aimed at apprising Hansard officers and upskilling members and staff of the legislatures in the journey towards embracing AI in Hansard production. We also resolved to harness benefits of AI while mitigating potential risks, as well as put in place measures to ensure gradual transition to live broadcasting besides the Hansard records in the county assemblies, and to include officers from various departments in the training committees as well as the tender process for Hansard equipment. The persons responsible for these are the Hansard directors and the CPST. This should be done immediately. The third one is operational milestones, which we resolve to devise friendly methods of getting people to access parliamentary debates and petitions and incorporate special features to cater for the needs of people with special needs, like the visually impaired. This should be done by all Hansard officers, IC departments, and clerks, and it is a continuous process. The fourth one is staff wellness at the workplace, and resolve to contract counseling service providers, provide flex time for Hansard staff, maintain physical, spiritual, social, and mental well-being of Hansard officers, engage in team building activities from time to time, and this would be done by the Parliamentary Service Commission, the county assemblies, service boards, and Hansard officers. This is also a continuous process. The fifth one is digitalization of Hansard processes. We resolved to procure modern digital recordings and transcription equipment and upgrade existing software and hardware to address current needs. This should be into Kiswahili, formulate a Hansard manual for the East African region, establish committees in legislatures to standardize language use. This should be done by the directors of Hansard and audio services, the training and development departments, and the HAC executive. Some of the resolutions can be done immediately and others could take time, so it's a continuous process. The seventh issue was publishing Hansard reports, and we resolved to ensure consistency of style in published reports. And this should be done by audio officers, reporters, readers, and editors. It should take off immediately, and some parts of it can be a continuous process. The eighth one is collaboration between Parliament and county assemblies. We resolved to foster synergy among parliaments, county assemblies, and other bodies, and this should be observed by all staff, and it's a continuous process. And lastly, the last issue is registration of HAC. We resolved to fast-track registration of HAC, be followed through by the HAC Executive Committee, and should be done immediately. Thank you. The work was compiled by myself. I'm Pauline Sifuma, a Hansard reporter from the National Assembly, together with my brother and colleague, Moses Lesamai, who's an audio officer from the National Assembly.
Colleagues, let us put our hearts together, appreciate the work that has been done by our rapporteurs. You agree with me that they have recaptured whatever we discussed here. If they have missed anything, you will share with us, we incorporate it. Otherwise, I must thank both clerks, the clerks of the National Assembly and the clerk of Senate for facilitating this event. I also thank the clerks of the various county assemblies for facilitating most of you to come for this event. I would also like to our resource persons. We have learned a lot from you, and in future we'll continue engaging you. Thank you very much. To all the participants, I wish you the very best. Back to your place, back to Nairobi and others to your county. Namfika umsalimiane. Thank you. I take this opportunity to welcome my director, Madam Gladys Denda, to say a few words, and you welcome the deputy clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much. The Clerk of the Senate and Secretary to the Parliamentary Service Commission, Mr. Nyegenye, who is also the patron of HAC, the Deputy Clerk, Ms. Eunice Gichangi, our distinguished resource persons, directors and deputy directors from the National Parliament, colleagues from county assemblies and the National Parliament, and colleagues from regional parliaments. Good afternoon. Now, it gives me great pleasure to stand before you this afternoon as we come to the end of a wonderful program that was well designed by a HAC president and his executive committee. And at this point, I'd like us to appreciate the HAC executive committee for our job well done. Please put your hands together for our colleagues in HAC. I'd like to thank our clerks, the Clerk of the National Assembly and the Clerk of the Senate, for their continued support to HAC. And the fact that they support us so generously and so regularly and consistently makes it very clear that they hold the services that the departments and directorates offer to our legislatures in very high esteem. And this support from the top level management of our legislatures is very important because it gives us the morale to go on. As you know, Hansard work can be very heavy at times, but when you know that you have the support of your leaders, then you have the spirit to go on and even face more challenges as the time goes on. So Clerk, before you are Hansard practitioners from more than 40 legislatures present here. We have officers from 39 county assemblies. We have officers from the National Land Commission and the Judicial Service Commission, where Hansard services are consumed. We also have delegations from our sister parliaments in the region. We have a delegation from the Parliament of Uganda, the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, and we have our colleagues from Miliala. So this is a conference that was well attended, and it makes it very clear that the HAC conference is a very important event on the calendar of every Hansard practitioner. And for this, we'd like to thank the clerks of the various county assemblies and even from the regional parliaments for supporting our officers to make sure that we mark this event every year. Mr. Clerk, we've had a very fruitful 4 days here with a very rich program designed, well designed to make sure that all officers benefit. We've had opportunity to network and we've benefited greatly from sessions that were well resourced by our distinguished resource persons. Thank you very much. As the chair said, the HAC president said that I'll make a few remarks and emphasis is on few. So it is now my great pleasure and honor to invite the Deputy Clerk, Ms. Gichangi, to give us a few remarks as she welcomes the clerk to give his keynote address. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you. I think I'm to hold both. Thank you very much. The Clerk of the Senate and Secretary to the Parliamentary Service Commission, and also the patron of HAC, Mr. Jeremiah Nyegenye, the host clerk, the president of HAC, Mr. George Wanyoko, distinguished delegates from within and outside our borders, distinguished resource persons, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm delighted to join you this afternoon to make some brief remarks before the closing of the annual conference of the Hansard Association of Kenya. Allow me from the onset to appreciate our sister house, the National Assembly, and the Clerk of the National Assembly for having ably sponsored this event and therefore having enabled us to gather here in this week. Allow me to also appreciate the Clerk of the Senate and Secretary to the Parliamentary Service Commission for having sponsored the previous editions of the Hansard, of the HAC conference. I remember with a lot of nostalgia, the very first one that was in Mombasa. And of course, the numbers were far less than the numbers we have today. Allow me to also join in thanking the clerks of the county assemblies. We have 39 county assemblies represented, which is truly remarkable. Great growth from the first HAC conference that we had. During this 4-day conference, there have been many in-depth lessons that have been learned. Many deliberations have occurred. as has been shared by the rapporteurs. There are clear themes that will continue to enrich the Hansard profession, to enrich the practice of the Hansard profession in our legislatures and also in the other institutions that are represented here. This conference has enabled us to listen to expert speakers, our resource persons, who have addressed us on an array of topics. This would not have been complete without each and every participant, and we especially appreciate the mix of participants. As has been mentioned, we had participation from the county assemblies, from the parliaments within the East African region, from the judiciary, from the National Land Commission, and of course from the Parliament of Kenya. An excellent mix in terms of representation. The conference theme that was selected was very apt indeed, leveraging on past successes in the era of artificial intelligence. I congratulate the HAC president and his team for the selection of the theme and for the program that was put in place for us. As highlighted in the theme itself and also in the way forward as shared, the issue of technology stood out. In particular, of course, the matter of artificial intelligence, which has gained momentum in parliaments around the world, and I know a lot has been shared about how AI will assist us in automating certain functions within our Hansard function, but not only in Hansard, but also in other directorates within our respective institutions. And will also help us in reducing production time in processing of reports and audiovisual records. Many opportunities for leveraging on technology have been shared. The Parliamentary Service Commission, through its strategic plan, supports and is very keen on matters of efficiency and cost effectiveness in work processes, leveraging on matters of technology. So let's take advantage, those of us who serve in Parliament and those of us who serve in the other institutions, to ensure that we are not left behind in terms of leveraging on technology. Another theme that has really come out, again also as shared in the way forward, was the matter of staff wellness and mental well-being. I want to urge each of us to ensure that we follow up on what the experts advised. We continue to face a lot of pressure from, at the workplace, at home, in the various environments that we operate in. And so I want to urge us to take keen interest in ensuring our physical and mental health and well-being as we continue to serve. I want to encourage you to find innovative ways at a personal level to ensure that you cope with the various pressures. And I'm sure this was shared by our resource persons. I particularly want to encourage you as Hansard officers. You spend a lot of time sitting down. I'm sure you've heard of the sitting disease. Please keep away from it. Find ways to ensure that you're active and up and about, even in the course of the workday. Lastly, allow me to commend the current and previous executives of the Hansard Association of Kenya. Looking back, see how far we have come, Mr. President. So congratulations to you, to your team, and those who have previously served in office for shepherding this association from infancy, way back then, to what it is today. It has taken time, it has taken your dedication to do so. This conference has been most impactful, as has been shared. And I particularly want to acknowledge the fact that you have enabled even those who are not present to follow online on the deliberations in this conference. Great impact made from here and beyond. I pray that this conference leaves an indelible mark on each of us as participants, that we will continue to keep the Hansard profession alive, even as we prepare to meet at the next HAC conference. With those few remarks, please allow me to take this opportunity and privilege to invite the Clerk of the Senate, the Secretary to the Parliamentary Service Commission, and the HAC patron, the Hansard Association of Kenya patron, to address us and officially close this conference. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Deputy Clerk. Thank you very much. At the next conference, thanks to AI, we will not need to mechanically do this. Thank you very much, Deputy Clerk, Ms. Eunice Gichangi, for those very kind remarks and for the invitation to speak. And with so many important people here, I am nervous about the protocols, but let me acknowledge the president. When you hear president, that must be up there. President of HAC, Mr. George Wanyoko. I don't know if the chairperson of the Society of Clerks at the Table is presented here. The host clerk, Nakuru County Assembly, Ms. Jane Waweru. There's a clerk of Machakos County Assembly, Mr. Mutui. Colleague directors from the Parliament of Kenya, our colleagues from the parliaments of Tanzania, United Republic of Tanzania, the Republic of Uganda, from the East African Legislative Assembly, colleagues from other government, distinguished resource persons, very distinguished. The proceedings were being streamed, and I was quite impressed at the erudite presentations that have been made at this conference when I had opportunity to listen in. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am very pleased, very honored, very privileged to be able to join you on this occasion, notwithstanding that it is at the closing ceremony. I am going to be asking all the various organizations that have honored me with the title of being their patron, that I will decline future invitations when I am asked to either open or close. You must invite me as a participant, because I feel disadvantaged that erudite presentations are made, very learned discussions and conversations have gone on, and I only come to close and to say, you know, I hope you did all these good things, or to open and then go out. The serious conversations take place. So I want to be a participant and to sit in some of the events. Let me quote Henry Ford, who once said that if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. Steady steps have indeed brought this association to where it is today, and that's why I'm delighted that the event has attracted the participation of the various 39 and counting county assemblies, the parliaments of our sister partner states of the East African Community, IALA, the various agencies of government. I was told about Zalendo Trust, with whom we have our members sometimes have a love-hate relationship. Sometimes they like you, sometimes they don't like you very much, depending on what you have said about them. So it's a great honor for me and pleasure to be able to address such a rich, diverse, distinguished gathering of Hansard professionals and other professionals. Here speaks volumes. It shows your commitment and your desire to offer quality services in the various legislatures and other institutions that you serve. I also need to be very polite when I speak to Hansard professionals, because in the Parliament of Kenya, the next member of Parliament is usually drawn. Members of Parliament are drawn from Hansard. I don't know what it is about the Hansard, and I don't know whether this phenomenon has been exhibited in other parliaments. It would be very good to know whether in the other legislatures we have had the same phenomenon. I don't know what it is about working in Hansard that makes the professionals who work there decide, no, I think I can do this better. So I have to be very polite, because the next member, probably the next speaker, is going to come from the people sitting here. Most of you will be aware that the idea of forming the Hansard Association of Kenya started in 2013, when we had a training workshop of Hansard staff for county assemblies. The association was founded in 2014 to provide a forum for Hansard officers working in the Parliament of Kenya, as well as the 47 county assemblies, to network and to share best practices. Indeed, the Parliament of Kenya has funded the conferences since then. As they say, history is important. As people with a common goal, we should not forget where we have come from, even as we dream of a better future. Our past activities should help us track the record of where we have come from and chart the direction on the kind of future that we would like to see. It is clear that the world of work is changing, just as the world itself is changing. And this has really played out in the conversations that you have had here. I think that it is undeniable that we are in a constant state of change, and now perhaps more than ever. I would like to commend the executive committee and the organizers of this conference for a very well thought out theme, leveraging on past successes in the era of artificial intelligence. I was saying to the president and his handlers when they were briefing me before coming here, that this is a conference, this theme is a theme that has to be cascaded to everyone else in the institution and every institution. This conversation about artificial intelligence and its impact and the future of work is a conversation that every organization needs to have, because nobody is going to be left untouched by and not impacted on by the strides, the changes in artificial intelligence. So it's very timely and very appropriate that the Hansard has taken the lead. I'm informed that you have had very fruitful engagements on how our legislatures should navigate the new frontiers of digital transformation. Artificial intelligence is here with us. And to put it in context, the Hansard production process, as you have discussed, as you well know, has come a very long way, from the typewriter, the cassettes you had, the desktop computers, to the modern software and hardware that we have and that continues to evolve by the day. Over the years, Hansard officers have had to adapt to new ways of doing things, and I am happy that in this conference you have acknowledged this and you are working on that basis, because we can come to the place. Professions have been in the place, and anyone who found themselves in the place where they were resisting, where they were denying, where they're putting their heads in the sand, were soon overrun. So I am very glad that you have all agreed that change is here, that things will be done differently, that artificial intelligence is disrupting the way that we have known things to be done. And the best that we can do is to embrace this and to then commandeer it in the direction that is beneficial, because it can be disruptive and it can affect both positively and negatively. And you have had these conversations. And therefore, we need to harness we need to ensure that we use it to our advantage. It is a matter of time before we expect a major shift in the way that we work. I listened to Deputy Clerk Sarah when she opened this conference, and this was reported in the media. But I was also with her a week and a half ago at the IPU, the Interparliamentary Union General Assembly, where we have the Association of Secretary Generals of Parliament. And one of the things of parliaments, and one of the discussions we had was this very topic and impact on various professions in legislatures. And the Hansard in particular came in for the most discussion. And it was very interesting to hear what has happened and the changes that have occurred in this area in various legislatures. You will not be surprised perhaps to hear that some legislatures have more or less restructured and changed, more or less almost abolished, so to speak, the Hansard as we knew it. And where they had 50 staffers or 100 staffers, one legislature now has 4 editors only. Everything else is brought all the way until we just need some final editing, just to ensure that there isn't any lapse. But this should not alarm you, because you are all professionals in your own right, and everybody, this changes and developments of this kind are affecting every professional in the legislature and in any other organization. So we all need to be on the alert. We all need to have these conversations about reskilling, about upskilling, as I heard you have spoken about new skilling, because this is the future of the workplace. Employees will need to get more creative, to get uncritical, and we all need to learn more digital skills in order to manage the complex problems that lie ahead. The need for independent and reliable Hansard reports has never been in dispute, and owing to the crucial role of the Hansard in legislatures, I would like to urge all clerks of legislatures to continue strengthening Hansard departments. I will personally be having a conversation with all the county assemblies that did not send representatives, the clerks of the other county assemblies, with the hope that maybe there were factors outside their control, because I have the privilege to serve also as a patron of the clerks at the tables. So in that other capacity, I will be asking that we all support this profession, because we know that we all talk about our legislatures being houses of record, and the importance of the records of our institutions cannot be gainsaid. So the challenge to us, however, is to remain relevant, to remain well-equipped in the changing technological environment. I'm very glad about the milestones that this association has made since establishment. Through networking, officers working in the county assemblies, legislatures in regional parliaments, and those in the Parliament of Kenya continue to consult and exchange ideas through benchmarking and attachment programs. Trainings and workshops on thematic areas are also organized, including by the Center for Parliamentary Studies and Training, CPST, which is also represented here. And I would like to reiterate that our parliament, the Parliament of Kenya, remains committed to building the capacity of parliamentary officers, and I will urge that all legislatures of the region similarly do so. And we want to thank very much our colleagues in regional parliaments. They have made available to us openings for attachment for benchmarking visits when we call upon them. I use this opportunity because they are listening in and because they are represented here to put at their disposal similarly the Parliament of Kenya, the various directorates they answered, because we are conference, but also all other professionals I am putting at the disposal of our partner regional parliaments. We are open, we are available, and we will consider very favorably every request to benchmark, to learn with us and to share with us. Having looked at the program you have had and listened into some of that, I am very pleased that it was rich with diverse topics, cutting across several areas surrounding our work. I am very particularly pleased that this area of staff wellness continues to feature now in all the conversations, all our events, because the one thing that AI is not going to change is the machine called the human being, which is a very complex equipment that needs to be taken good care of. And it is important that the various aspects of taking good care of this equipment is at the forefront now of all our conversations. And I urge that this continues to be the case. Through sharing experiences, the issues that you have raised, and the ideas that you have gathered here, we hope they are able to help us in our legislatures to address the challenges that we face in our various work environments. The lessons that we have learned here should make us all agents of change in whatever capacities that we serve in. As I conclude, I would like to congratulate you all for the zeal and commitment towards the activities of the association. Let us all be good ambassadors of HAC. Let us all play our roles in whatever capacities to keep the spirit of HAC alive. Let's all hold hands and move in one direction to ensure that we leave no one behind. Together, we will achieve more. I want to speak about the registration status, the matter of the status of registration of HAC, because it was mentioned. I think this is at a very advanced level. We have now agreed on the roadmap towards registration, and I commit that you will have the support of the administration of the parliamentary service in seeing this to fruition. This being the end now of the conference, before closing, I want to take the opportunity to appreciate all the speakers, all the panelists, all the delegates, without whom this conference would not have been the success that it has been. I have been wondering whether, because of developments and the strides in AI, one of these days the conference will be a conference of AI systems rather than individuals. I want to wish you all journey masses to wherever our respective destinations as we go back. I hope that we will meet again in this, and it is now therefore my privilege, my singular honor, to declare the 6th Hansard Association of Kenya Annual Conference officially closed, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our clerk, for this closing ceremony. So we don't have anything else now that the clerk has spoken and he has advised. He has told us that he will continue working with us as he has been doing since inception of HAC. So on this note, ni twende tu tukakule lunch. Thank you very much. Yes, Eunice.